News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
A look back at a once-in-a-lifetime Missoula tragedy. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning for this Monday, March the 2nd, 2015. Skies cloudy. We have 19 degrees in Missoula, and our newscast sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville. For more information, call 777-5387. A film recounting the deadly avalanche that swept through a Missoula neighborhood a year ago highlighted the one-year anniversary of the event. The documentary about the Mount Jumbo avalanche drew a packed house at its premiere Saturday at Missoula's Roxy Theater. Amplify Kindness by director Katrina Johnson had its premiere on the one-year anniversary of the day when an avalanche slid down Mount Jumbo and into the Rattlesnake neighborhood, destroying 2 homes. On that day, KGVO News spoke with Fire Chief Jeff Brandt just after the initial call came in to 911.
Peter, it looks like we had some snow break loose and an avalanche come down there on Jumbo. From what I understand, about half or more buried a house, tore the gas line off, and buried some victims. We believe maybe just one. We don't know about 2. At this time, looks like we're in touch with our command post and said that they did locate the 8-year-old, but efforts are still being made to complete the search.
Killed in the avalanche was Michael Joe Colville, wife of University of Montana professor Fred Allendorf. After the avalanche, an army of neighbors rushed to the scene with shovels and snow probes to help dig out 3 people. 2 survived, as we mentioned. The 3rd died at the hospital. Johnson said the film is primarily about spreading the message of the community spirit after the avalanche. 2 men have been rescued from the backcountry in Gallatin County. 2 out-of-state residents were rescued Saturday night. They were found cold but in good condition. Gallatin County Sheriff's Office says it got a call shortly before 9 p.m. from the men who had become lost in Highlight Canyon while on a snowboarding outing. They were found about 10:30 p.m. Friday was busy at Missoula Justice Court as 3 high-profile cases came before Judge Marie Anderson. First, 36-year-old Robert Brown appeared on several serious charges after leading sheriff's deputies on a high-speed chase last week. Deputy Missoula County Attorney Mac Bloom explained why he asked for $150,000 bail.
We feel that the defendant is a danger to the public. When the deputies arrived to arrest him, he took off and led deputies on a high-speed chase of up to 120 miles an hour. Over the course of the chase, 5 vehicles were forced to pull off the shoulder of the road to avoid a head-on collision. Judge
Anderson agreed to the state's request for $150,000 bail. In the second case, Missoula contractor Shane Spence led officers on a chase that ended on Highway 12 near Lolo. Bloom asked for $10,000 bail.
Your Honor, the state's requesting $10,000 bail in this case. The state is concerned that the defendant is a danger to the community at this time. He's threatened to harm himself in the past. He drove extremely dangerously in this case into oncoming traffic and then took a bunch of Tylenol.
Anderson placed bail at $5,000 and then Spence bonded out. Third, 25-year-old Chad Moore of Dixon was charged with felony theft after allegedly stealing from Shopco.
In this case, it's alleged that he stole various items from Shopco and then threatened an employee with a knife. The defendant admitted to being high on drugs at the time. The defendant pled guilty to criminal burglary in 2010 and was convicted of possession of controlled substances in 2014.
Bond was set at $5,000. Moore bonded out of jail. He was apprehended after a Facebook tip led authorities to where he would be on the day of his arrest. All 3 have court dates in mid-March. The negotiations between the employees of Mountain Water Company and the city of Missoula abruptly ended last week. President of Mountain Water, John Kappas, on Talkback, explained what happened.
The city provided an offer and a contract. The employees were looking at it and trying to decide where it wasn't quite living up to the promises being made. And that was last Wednesday then at the committee of a whole. That information was provided publicly before the mediation had ended.
Kappas says the disclosure shattered any atmosphere of confidentiality and trust that the company may have had while negotiating with the city.
The trust that the employees had that the city would negotiate in good faith and keep things confidential. The fact that this contract, a lot of the terms of the agreement were provided to the public, and from what we can tell, the whole contract was provided to the media as well.
On Thursday, a representative from Boone Carlberg, one of the law firms representing the city in the condemnation of Mountain Water, asked KGVO for a copy of the interview with Kappas that aired on Talkback. A call asking the purpose of the request has not yet been returned. With the 90-day legislative session half over, perhaps the most significant bill signed by Governor Bullock so far is one to fund K-12 education. Major bills making their way through the legislature include a proposed water settlement on the Flathead Reservation and one campaign finance reform bill. And a bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security for 3 weeks failed in the House Friday, 203 to 224. However, shortly before the midnight deadline, the House approved a 1-week extension of funding for the DHS. State Budget Director Dan Villa says the state, as well as Governor Bullock, are prepared for any potential shutdown.
As folks remember, we did not have any implications on state services during the first round of government shutdowns, and the governor was happy to announce today that we are prepared for any potential shutdown in the Department of Homeland Security due to congressional inaction.
Villa says some state employees are partially funded through the DHS.
Given that we have a strong rainy day fund and our good fiscal management, we'll be able to weather the storm, any temporary shutdown in federal funds, so that folks like your county disaster and emergency services coordinators won't have to be furloughed, or our employees at Fort Harrison who cope and deal with spring flooding or other sorts of natural disasters that happen in Montana.
DHS was reported to run out of money at midnight Friday night. During the last government shutdown, Villa says the governor's office was able to sufficiently move resources around so that it did not cost the state general fund any money. The National Weather Service here in Missoula has issued a winter weather advisory for snow, blowing snow, and cold wind chill factors from 2 p.m. today till 11 a.m. tomorrow. Meteorologist Lance Vanderbogert said the system will be moving into western Montana this afternoon.
We're looking at somewhere in the range of 2 to 4 inches. A nice band of precipitation looks like will be moving through the Missoula and Bitterroot area tomorrow afternoon into the evening. And yeah, we're expecting around that 2 to 4 range for the whole area.
Vanden Bogart said the cold temperatures will follow the snowfall.
Tuesday morning, we're looking here in Missoula and Bitterroot Valley somewhere around 5 to maybe pushing low teens in the Missoula area.
Vanden Bogart said the gusty winds could cause blowing and drifting snow in areas like the Hellgate Canyon, and that wind chill factors could reach from 5 below to 15 below zero starting tonight. Our News Talk time is 6:10.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Increasing clouds and snow showers today. We will see our high temperatures topping out in the mid-30s, but quickly dropping behind a cold front. We'll see areas of snow through the evening commute. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.